we got some breaking news, and it's definitely gonna affect polling. All right. RFK Jr. supporters say that they will vote for Trump as polls show Harris suffers. Now, why is that important? Well, you know what they say. If you want to find out, make sure that you watch the video all the way through to the end. All right. So now here in this article from Newsweek, it says a number of RFK Jr. supporters recently said on social media that they will vote for Donald Trump if the independent presidential candidate drops out of the 2024 election and endorses the Republican nominee. As a new poll found that if Kennedy Jr. leaves the race, more of his supporters would lean toward backing the former president than Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, let me ask you guys this. What is it that you think is underlying in that dynamic? It follows unconfirmed reports that Kennedy will withdraw from the White House race and offer Trump his endorsement later today. Well, guess what? We're at later today. We're at later today. Kennedy Jr. is due to deliver an address to the nation at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time from Phoenix, Arizona. Though when contacted by Newsweek, his team said they had no further details to share about the event. Kennedy Jr., meanwhile, has already submitted letters to withdraw from the presidential ballot in Arizona, according to Associated Press. Trump is also due to hold a rally in Glendale, a suburb of Phoenix, later this evening. Okay. Speculation that Kennedy Jr. could drop out of the race surged after Nicole Shanahan, his running mate, suggested the pair could walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump in a podcast interview released on Tuesday. And I did a video about that. If you guys haven't watched it, check it out. In response, Trump praised Kennedy Jr. during a CNN interview, calling him a brilliant guy, and said he would be open to offering him a job in a second Trump administration. Okay, so as you guys can see, the business is taking place. A number of self-described Kennedy Jr. supporters on X, formerly Twitter, said they are either open to switching their votes to Trump should the environmental campaigner and juice skeptic leave the contest, or had already decided to do so. On Wednesday, in response to Austin Peterson, who stood in the Libertarian Party's 2016 presidential primary, asking whether Kennedy Jr. supporters would follow him to support Trump if RFK drops out, user at just_a_hog_fan wrote, "Yes, I was dead set on voting for RFK Jr. I will now be voting for Trump because there is no way on God's green earth that I'll ever vote for Harris. I'm not a MAGA, but I am now a Trump voter, and honestly, I don't care what anyone has to say about it." All right, so it's very interesting. Things are shifting all over the place. Ex-user Knox Endemic posted, "As an RFK Jr. voter, I am sticking with him until the bitter end, unless he endorses Trump, in which I will cease and I will vote for Trump." It's that simple, folks. All right, so as you guys can see, there's all of these people that they got on social media, right, that substantiate that whoever RFK is endorsing, that is where his supporters are going to go. There it is. RFK Jr.'s exit shakes up 2024 race. Okay. But how much does his endorsement actually help Trump? All right. So, we saw what the Newsweek article said, and the Newsweek article was posted before the actual announcement was made. So we're going to see what this article says and see how this coincides with what was said on the Newsweek article. The abrupt exit of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his endorsement of Donald Trump has shaken up the 2024 White House race with just 74 days until Election Day. But whether it's a boom for the Republican presidential nominee remains unclear. Though polling suggests former President Trump could benefit from the suspended campaign of the independent Kennedy, quote unquote, a conspiracy theorist, environmental advocate, and son of the late liberal icon Robert F. Kennedy. Political analysts question whether it's a major gain. Now, we know what this is, right? When it comes to the elections and when it comes to how it's important to get as many votes as you can because of the margins, any gain is important. Do you know what I'm saying? So now what they're saying here is it has little impact in the national polling, said David Paleogos, director of Suffolk University Political Research Center. The question is, what will be the impact in the swing states? And from what we've seen, it's probably going to be marginal. Okay. Given the growing negative perceptions the voters have about Kennedy, his endorsement poses a risk to Trump, who is no stranger to courting controversy. And that's not consistent with a lot of the information that I read. In long, rambling remarks Friday announcing he is suspending his candidacy, Kennedy said he is throwing his support to Trump. He made clear his opposition of Vice President Kamala Harris and used a long windup to his speech to rail on the Democratic Party. Okay. Kennedy said his name will remain on the ballots in some states, but he will remove his name from about 10 battleground states. Yet he still suggested a far-fetched scenario in which somehow he emerges as a negotiated president if Trump and Harris tie in the Electoral College. Okay. So now here it says, for much of the election cycle, Democrats labeled Kennedy as a quote unquote election spoiler, whose candidacy was meant to help Trump by peeling votes away from President Joe Biden, which I don't know, man. I think that what was going on was actually RFK was peeling votes away from Trump. I don't know where they got that from, but okay. But after Harris took over as the party's 2024 nominee, polling started showing that Kennedy was doing the opposite, hurting Trump more than the Democrats. Yeah. And again, this just shows how out of touch with reality they are. Even before Biden's exit, a USA Today Suffolk University national poll in June found Trump the second choice of 32% of Kennedy supporters and Biden the second choice of 18% of Kennedy supporters. Another 26% said that they were unsure who they would back besides Kennedy, and the remaining respondents moved to other third-party candidates. Okay. The poll found 42% of Republican voters viewed Kennedy favorably, along with 36% of independent voters, compared with just 17% of Democratic voters. So this polling information right here should give a lot of clues as to who Kennedy was taking votes away from. He wasn't taking any votes away from Biden or Harris. He was taking votes away from Trump. You know what I'm saying? More recently, a survey of 7 battleground states by the Cook Political Research poll last week found Trump was the second choice of 45% of Kennedy voters in these crucial states, compared with 26% for Harris. Yet the poll found Kennedy with support from only 5% of likely voters across the states, down 8% since May. Kennedy, who winded down regular campaign events weeks ago, has led a campaign that has often bordered on the bizarre. There have been revelations that he placed the carcass of a dead baby bear cub in New York's Central Park a decade ago, and that doctors found a dead worm in his brain. He faced new sexual assault allegations dating back to the 1990s and was blocked from the ballot in New York after a judge ruled he provided a false residency. Okay. Since announcing her candidacy, Harris has performed moderately better in polls that feature third-party candidates than in head-to-head competition, only her and Trump. For example, a Marquette Law School poll of registered Wisconsin voters this month found Trump leading 50 to 49 in a head-to-head matchup, but Harris leading Trump 45 to 43, with other candidates like Kennedy and liberal academic Cornel West added to the mix. Kennedy had support from 8% of registered Wisconsin voters. Okay. Kennedy's share of the electoral vote, however, has been sliding in polls for months. Kennedy is polling at 4.5% nationally, according to Real Clear Politics average of polls, down 11% in early May. It follows a historic trend of third-party candidates polling better in the spring than closer to election. On the other hand, in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, that could be decided by only thousands of votes, any shift could be critical. Okay, so what this basically is saying is that by RFK leaving the race and endorsing Trump, the majority of RFK voters will more than likely now support Trump, which will give Trump a head-to-head advantage against Kamala Harris. And that could change things up a lot. So it'll be interesting to see where things go from here. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you take a moment, hit that bell icon twice, smash the like button, share this video to your social media, and I will catch you all on the next video. All right, peace.